Hi everyone and welcome. And in today's video I would like to talk about yesterday's full moon in Virgo. And I wanted to draw some cards as well for the next 2 weeks and for the lessons that we have received during this full moon, what maybe the themes that we have encountered and that we've seen. So the lessons and themes of this full moon in Virgo. Lessons and themes. This full moon in Virgo. Emotionally, it doesn't, I don't know, to me it doesn't feel that intense, but it might be because Pisces season is sort of has already been emotionally intense, so okay. Okay. Yeah. The cards are speaking clearly. Anyway, I wanted to give you some information. So this full moon in Virgo happens, of course, in Pisces season, and so this means that the sun is in Pisces, the sign of Pisces, as you might probably know. And Pisces and Virgo are the two polarities of like the same thread. They're connected by their willingness and interest in service and in being of help towards others and bringing love and healing and compassion to the world. And however, the way they express it, the way they do it, is in two opposite forms. While Pisces is very formless, it's very it doesn't like rigidity, doesn't like to be put in these categories or boxes that Virgos likes that much. And Pisces is ruled by the planet Neptune, and so it's all about, the spiritual formless self, and this means also like seeing it all, seeing it both the light and the dark, and surrendering. So paradoxically, like while in other seasons it might be easier to dedicate ourselves to our spiritual practices, maybe like yoga or Reiki or other practices. In Pisces season, I found that because it is so like formless, and it can it can even be laziness at times. It's more difficult to dedicate ourselves to a practice because it's like we are immersed in this flow, and we just we feel that we do not want to force anything. So basically the risk is that we only do what feels comfortable and right in a way. But it's beautiful because when the high energy of Pisces allows us to be vulnerable, to to be without defenses, without, you know, yeah, without defenses, without like this armor or shield. And for those who are already empathic, and it might probably need some reinforcement, because we want to love with an open heart, but we also need some protection, right? So Virgo, on the other side, is very good at drawing boundaries, not because it's like beachy or something, but because it's very analytical, very, you know, a perfectionist, very researching the best possible outcome, or to solve problems, to solve and to draw lines and details in every situation, so it knows where I begin and where I end and where you begin. It knows it perfectly, and it has an ability to hold this space, the auric space, and boundaries in perfect alignment. And so it's very analytical. It wants perfection, maybe physical healing as well, but it wants it, and the way it provides for it is like through this very methodical, rational approach and detailed approach, which is, in my opinion, during the full moon and with the full moon in Pisces season, is like a blessing, because sometimes the danger of Pisces season is that we flow with rivers that are, if we're not careful, might bring us to some dark areas in which we probably might not want to go. So as I previously wrote in some of my notes that I took and that I didn't watch a lot, is that I like to think that with every season we are given the opportunity to heal those areas related to both the sign in which the sun is, and the full moon sign, but so both aspects, especially the sun's, but also like we're given this opportunity to find the balance, the perfect balance between the two polarities. And so we might feel drawn to adjust, for example, to adjust more the Pisces aspects. For example, if we feel that we are lacking clear boundaries, we might feel compelled and inspired to do practices that strengthen our boundaries, strengthen our aura, and bring a little more structure and definition to ourselves. Whereas someone who is normally struggles more with letting go and surrendering and being vulnerable might benefit a lot from the sun being in Pisces, and might learn more to go with the flow. So yeah, to me, it's a great opportunity to, every season, it's a great opportunity to find this balance in between the two polarities, bringing with us, taking with us the best possibly of both polarities. And then, of course, with every cycle, we improve ourselves, and so that is our journey, and each step of it is perfect. So this Virgo full moon to me was about two tendencies, two options, two questions. And then of course for each sign, it will be about different areas, like first house or second house and so on. But to me, the two main subjects of this full moon in Virgo are: where do I need to bring more discernment, stability, rationality, maybe more structure and clarity in my life? And connected to this, what practices and rituals, because rituals are very important for Virgo energy. So what practices, rituals, daily routines can I practice into my life to improve my health, my physical health, and my spiritual connection? Because a spiritual connection, it's all about Pisces, and this is a blending of both, because the full moon is illumined by the sun in Pisces. So it's a blending of both at its best. The other tendency that we might feel called to resonate on is: how can I soften more? Where do I need to soften more so that my mentality and my thinking and my rigidities are not keeping me from being at my best with other people and with myself? Where do I need to judge and criticize myself less? Where do I need to love more unconditionally, love the other in a more unconditional way? That is a very general interpretation, and as I've said, it varies depending on each person. And the cards that I drew are all about changes and growth and tending to our seeds. There would be a lot to say, but since I don't want to create a video that is too long, I will say that we probably have received some clarity, as always during the full moon, because everything is enlightened, everything is illumined. So we might probably have received some clarity about some patterns, something that we've been struggling with maybe, or some things that we need to do in order to solve some problems. And maybe we are feeling that a big change needs to come, like in the next weeks or something. And we might feel that we're struggling to take action because the sign is in Pisces, and sometimes it procrastinates, especially when something involves like things we're not comfortable with, fear, anxiety, something that makes us anxious in a way. But we are seeing this potential for growth, and we feel that we're ready, or we're soon going to be ready. And we know what we need to do to get there. So, and also, like, what I've noticed to me was that I've, not in a major way, but I've realized that I want to tend to myself more. And the cards here is honoring your energy. So Mercury was in retrograde in Pisces and then in Aquarius for the last week, I think, for like 1 month. And it went back direct yesterday, 2 hours or something after the full moon. And so with Mercury retrograde, a lot of things have been blocked, have felt blocked, have been blocked. Communication has been difficult, more difficult than usual. And it felt like some things like we're in a rut. We were stuck in a rut. But now that it's coming back to being direct, we are seeing where the wheel is beginning to turn again, to move again. There is forward movement, okay? But it's like it's defrosting or something. It's like this ice cube melting, starting to melt, and so it at the present moment it might feel overwhelming. And this shadow, the post retrograde shadow, will last until the end of the month, like end of March. So some lessons of this past Mercury retrograde will probably feel clear, like crystal clear, only after the end of this post shadow period, because this like things will start to move again, but this means that we need to melt this ice cube, this iceberg, ice block that has been created by the blocks that emerged during this past Mercury retrograde. I hope that it resonates, because it's not a very it's part of it is of course by research, but part of it is also intuitive. So I hope that it resonates and that it offers you a perspective to to think on, to think about. Anyway, and also Virgo is connected to Mercury, as we know. So I feel that this has brought a kind of inner clarity about what to do, but that emotionally we're still a little frozen. And because Pisces season has brought up a lot, so much, and we have been feeling that it was too hard to get to it, too hard to move through it, that we preferred to just lay down and wait. And so my suggestion is to not force it, to go with the flow, but to keep in mind the direction we're going towards, and that this is just a time in which blockages are melting, and we need, yes, to give ourselves the time to do this, but also to get there and to know that we're getting there. The cards are this struggle. So it's like, it's NC water. So it's like, and the pie and a fish. So it's like, certainly it's not like, there is some blockage, and maybe we're even letting go of some struggles. And the way to let go of them is to go with the flow, not try to force anything, and to let this flow even wash away all the fears, the anxiety, and the doubts, the blockages that we've been encountering. Then we have changes and growth here. And this speaks to me about this time from here until the beginning of spring and the spring equinox, because it's like there is this silent movement and we are still asleep. And then at the beginning of spring and with Aries season, we are emerging, we're getting there even physically, and we're going to feel physically ready to move on and to integrate this growth and honoring your energy. So this talks to me about Virgo. Honoring your energy, your needs, your self-care routines, your health, your physical health, especially with this coronavirus stuff. I'm in Italy. We are basically being forced and asked to stay home, except for like walks in parks, and everything is is closed. We cannot move between like different towns, different communes, and so it's messed up, you know. But to me, it's a great opportunity for people to reconnect back to themselves and to their roots and home and to their bodies, to take better care of themselves, of their health, to do things that are more comfortable and pampering. So I hope that this message resonated with you, and I tried to be as, I tried to blend both, to be a sort of balance between these two energies myself, and I just realized it. But I tried to blend both the more academical information about the event and the more intuitive side to it. So I hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it helpful in some way. And if you want to support, you can do so by donating on my PayPal or on Patreon if you'd like. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon.